He pounded on the window like he owned the world, barking, "License and registration." Now, but the real shocked moment that froze the entire street was when the man sitting quietly in the passenger seat lifted his head, and the officer realized he hadn't just stopped a random woman. He had stopped the police chief's wife, and the chief had heard every single word. Before I begin, if this story touches your heart, please like, subscribe, and tell me your city in the comments. I love knowing where my story family is watching from. 3 minutes earlier, the world looked normal. The Christmas lights on Oak Ridge Avenue glowed faintly, and Mia Daniels, 8 months pregnant, tired, but still smiling, drove home from her prenatal class. Her husband, Derek, usually picked her up. But tonight, he was unusually quiet, staring out the window as though he was thinking about 1,000 things he couldn't say yet. Mia reached out and put a hand on his arm. "You okay, baby?" "Long week," Derek murmured. "Just glad to be with you." He didn't tell her the truth. He'd spent the last month investigating officers in his own department after anonymous complaints. Officers who abused power. Officers who lied. Officers who would stop people not based on wrongdoings, but based on what they looked like. He knew one name on that list all too well: Officer Brent Holloway, a man who had been warned twice and ignored those warnings twice. Mia slowed at a yellow light, and that's when she saw a patrol car behind them, weaving slightly, lights off, but tailing too close. Derek sat up straighter. "Mia, keep calm. Just drive normal." She did. But the patrol car flashed its lights anyway. Mia pulled over her hands, shook something she hid from Derek, but he saw everything. Officer Brent strutted toward the car like he was kicking down the gates of a movie set. He didn't even glance at Derek. He stared only at Mia. "Step out of the vehicle," he snapped. Mia blinked. "Sir, may I ask why?" "I didn't out of the vehicle." His hand hovered over his holster. Derek's jaw locked. "What's the probable cause, officer?" he asked calmly. Brent didn't look at him. "Wasn't talking to you." Mia swallowed hard. "Let me get my license. It's in my stop reaching," he barked, slamming his palm against the window so hard she flinched. Derek leaned forward, his voice steady but deadly cold. "Officer, that's enough." Brent still didn't look at him. "You got ID, lady, or are we gonna have a problem tonight?" Something inside Mia broke a little. Not because she was scared for herself, but because she was carrying their baby. And the stress hit her chest like a stone. "Sir, I'm pregnant," she whispered. "Please talk calmly." Brent smirked. "Oh, so now you're pregnant. Convenient." Derek closed his eyes. He knew this behavior. He'd read it in reports, heard it from citizens. He had hoped it wasn't this bad, but it was worse. "Step out of the car," Brent shouted again. That was the moment Derek slowly removed his seatbelt and stepped out. Brent finally looked at him, and everything inside the officer froze. "See Chief Daniels." He stumbled backward as though he'd seen a ghost. Derek stared at him with the calm fury of a man who'd held back too long. "You've stopped enough innocent people this month," he said softly. "Tonight, you stopped my wife." Brent's face went pale. "So I didn't know. I thought she looked suspicious," Derek finished. I mean she didn't stop at the Officer Holloway," Derek said in a voice that could cut stone. "I was in the car. I saw the light. I saw her signal. I saw everything." He stepped closer. "And I heard everything." Brent shook. "I didn't mean anything by it, sir," but Derek wasn't speaking anymore. Mia opened her door carefully and stepped out. She wasn't angry, she wasn't yelling, she wasn't crying. She simply stood beside her husband, resting a hand over her belly, and said in a calm, unshakable voice, "Officer, the way you treated me could have hurt my baby." That was when Brent stopped breathing. Derek stepped in front of her protectively. "I wanted to see if the complaints were exaggerated," he said. "I wanted to believe you could change." Brent swallowed. "Sir, please. But now," Derek continued, "I've seen it with my own eyes." Brent dropped to one knee. "Chief, I need this job. My family, you should have thought about your family when you disrespected mine," Derek said, voice lower than a whisper. Blue and red lights filled the street in other patrol car, arriving after Derek called for backup quietly from his phone. 2 officers stepped out. Derek looked at them. "Place Officer Holloway under suspension and escort him to internal affairs." Brent looked like a man drowning. He didn't fight. He didn't argue. He simply let the other officers take him away. When the patrol car drove off, Mia leaned against Derek and whispered, "Why didn't you tell me what you were investigating?" "I didn't want to worry you," he said softly, "but I'm never letting anyone scare you like that again." She took his hand and placed it gently on her belly. "Promise." "With everything I am," Derek whispered. Months passed. Brent was removed from the department permanently after internal review, and when their baby girl, Harper, was born healthy, beautiful, perfect, Derek held her and said, "You will grow up in a safer world. Because your mother stood strong." Mia smiled through tears. "No," she whispered, "because you did." If this story touched your heart, please like, share, subscribe, and comment your city so I know where you're watching from. Your support helps this channel grow and reach more people with stories like this.